When people first encounter sign language, many of them believe that sign language is a universal language. But when they may be surprised to find out that each country has its own sign language. In addition, each of those sign languages has something called variation. And if you're not familiar with this topic, I'll explain it to you by example. In American Sign Language, we do find variation. One sign that can be an example of this is the sign for early, which can be signed like this, or in the opposite direction, signed on the nose or on the forehead. That's called variation. Another example is the sign for birthday, which can be signed like this, as a compound sign of birth and day, or a variation on that, or as one sign, even pulling the ear. That's also variation. These are all signs in ASL and are accepted by American users of the language. Now, you might be wondering how variation occurs. There are two factors related to variation. The first of which is a social factor, the second of which are geographical factors. Social factors can be things like age, gender, race, social economic status, meaning if you're in the working class or in upper class. Those are social factors. Geographic factors are things like where someone lives. So if two communities are separate from each other and have no contact or socialization, say by a natural boundary like a river or a mountain, or some other boundary like a border, those two communities may exhibit these factors. So there are social factors and geographical factors. In our project, we have focused on Black ASL. For a long time, people have noticed that when Black deaf people get together, there is a specific type of ASL that they use. Signs may be different, facial expressions are different, and movements are different. And so I think people have said simply that these people's signs are different, without any real research to back up the variation that is exhibited there. There are 4 people who have worked on the Black ASL project, first of which is Seal Lucas, also Carolyn McCaskill, myself, Joseph Hill, and Robert Bailey. The first 3 of those researchers are from Gallaudet University, and the last researcher is from the University of California in Davis. And they all have come together to ask a very simple research question, which is, what is it that has happened historically that has caused Black ASL to occur, both as we can understand it from social factors and geographic factors? The second research question that they've attempted to address is, how is it that we can identify Black ASL? What linguistic features, for example, facial expressions, signing style, hand shape, movement, signing space, which of those factors or features can be used to identify what differences there are in Black ASL compared to other variants of ASL?